The defense at Alabama is going to be better than it's been probably in 5 or 6 years. The defense has been pedestrian the last couple of years, but they really didn't need a great defense with Tua Tagovailoa and obviously Max Smith and all the compliments around the quarterback. So I think that's important. The question really is that quarterback. Bryce Young, he's already a millionaire, according to his coach, Nick Saban. But how will he do under pressure? We really don't know the answer to that. We'll find out in 3 weeks when they take on a pretty good Miami team. Not one of the top teams in the country, but certainly a top 10, top 15 team. So, but ultimately, we tend to look past all of that for a very simple reason. It's called Nick Saban. As long as he is the head coach and he recruits at the level that he has recruited, he had the best recruiting class in the country last year, we're going to keep putting him number one.
You know, it's interesting, Paul, because a couple of years ago, my narrative, my take on it is, wait a minute, are we still in the Alabama Nick Saban era? Or has Dabo and Clemson,
right.
Who is it? Maybe it's Dabo. And now, once again, no, actually, it looks at this moment like Saban and Alabama have fought off the challenge and they're number one. But Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, they round out the top 5. Among those teams, who represents the biggest threat?
I'll split it a little bit. I think Oklahoma has a really good shot at getting to the playoffs because the schedule is not that challenging. And they also have one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the country in Spencer Rattler. However, I think the biggest threat is in the SEC, and that is Georgia. I think after the first weekend of the season, Max, we're going to be talking about Georgia as a legitimate threat because I think they're going to beat Clemson, which I think is good, but maybe not as good as it has been in a couple of years. We all know Trevor Lawrence is gone. I don't think the defense is as elite. So if Georgia goes into that game at Bank of America Stadium and beats Clemson, then all of a sudden we'll be talking about the SEC championship game in December by the second week of September. So I think that's how it lies. I mean, Ohio State is good. They have as much talent as they've had in many, many years. There are other schools out there, but I really think, like we always talk about in mid-August, it's about 4 or 5 of the same schools that it's always been.
You know, Paul Finebaum, I just want to remind you before I ask my next question, you've been talking a lot about Georgia for years now and Kirby Smart and what Georgia was going to do and what Georgia's going to do. Hadn't happened yet. I'm sorry the protege can't overcome the mentor. You know me all day, every day. I'm rolling with Alabama. That's how I roll, Paul Finebaum. And having said this, it's a 2-part question. One is really just being a bit facetious here because I really want to know of the 65 coaches, with the poll that voted for number one, 63 picked Alabama. I want to know the 2 who did it. I'd like to know that. Paul Finebaum might know that bit of information. But more importantly and more seriously, I have to ask this question. We got Alabama, there's no Mac Jones. We got Ohio State, there's no Justin Fields. We got Clemson, there's no Trevor Lawrence. Are you concerned that any of those teams are being ranked a bit too high?
Listen, when we get to the polls, Stephen A., I think we're just looking to see what happened last year. This is not a lot of analysis from the coaches or the people in our profession. It's always the same. And I think you could make a very strong argument against Alabama. But we get hung up on the head coach, and we just assume, because he's been doing it better than anyone has ever done it, that he'll find a way. As far as Georgia's concerned, I hear you. It's only been 41 years since a national championship. Herschel Walker was a freshman. I know that's a name from the past, but I think in all fairness to Kirby Smart, he's easy to take shots at. But he has a really great program there because he recruits as well as anyone. So it will take a little bit of luck. He had double-digit leads against Alabama in the national championship game. Yes. I remember. I saw you there, Stephen A. Yes, you were on the Tide sideline, of course.
Nice and objective.
And then he had a 17-point lead in the SEC game, and he just can't seem to get over that. He even led Alabama last year at halftime, and I didn't think anybody led Alabama last year that were so good. But that's something he'll have to deal with, whether it's before Saban leaves, whenever that is, or not. But usually these things come down to one or two plays. I know you're a big Dabo fan. I know I've seen you kind of sneaking into town, talking to the team, trying to get them fired up. I mean, Max, this is what I love about Stephen A.
Benedict Arnold.
He goes
Benedict
and talks to
Arnold. Look at him.
Hey, by the way, Stephen A., I don't know if you heard this or not, but in your spot last Friday night, speaking to the team, remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it was Stephen A. Last year was Mike Tyson. They snuck A-Rod in there in your place last Friday night. So I don't know if A-Rod can deliver like Stephen A. Because I still will say that they told me in Tuscaloosa the speech that Stephen A. gave to the team, best ever.
You know, what can I say? I mean, and you know, listen, I love my man, Iron Mike Tyson, who, by the way, has a great podcast. But you're going to have to forgive me, Max, if I don't think that he can talk like I can talk.
Mike, he doesn't mean it. Mike, he doesn't mean it. I got you, Stephen A. Don't worry. Mike, turn off the TV. Don't worry about it. He doesn't mean it. Mike Tyson has an incredible – Mike Tyson is just one of the most interesting public figures in America right now. Listen, Paul, I want to ask you about something other than Alabama, although I suppose we could bring this one around to Alabama too. What's the future of college football with Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12 and joining the SEC?
It is not good if you are not a member of the SEC, which currently sits at 14 and will go to 16 in 2 years or 3 years or whenever it is. Max, it sounds cliche to say this, but we are about to get in the NFL light. We're going to see 32, maybe 36 or 40 schools that compete every year for the national championship, and quite frankly, only about half of them are going to be contenders. A lot of conferences are literally falling by the wayside. This is like the Big Bang Theory, a million or a billion or a bazillion years ago in space. And I really don't know how to prop up these leagues. I mean, the Big 12 is saying we're fine. No, they're not. The Pac-12 is saying we don't need to do very much. Yes, they do. The ACC has to make a move, and the Big Ten, certainly of all these conferences, needs to do something. But the problem is there's nothing to do. There's almost no one left. Texas and Oklahoma, two of the biggest brands in college football, and you just can't manufacture a brand. Notre Dame's the only other school out there that is not currently in a conference that could make a difference. The rest of them are table scraps.